Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. You could have been any place else in the world, and I promise you, it is still not too late. But since you're already gone through the trouble, we may as well talk about it. So, okay, let me see. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. Let me see. Joya Moore is here first. Thank you very much, Joya Moore. And yeah, well, don't worry. We're not going to be on so long. I'm trying a new format today. So instead of doing like a bunch of stuff all in one video, why not choose topics and just do individual videos? Now, my goal is not to talk so much so that they're not longer than 20 minutes. So wish me luck. So anyway, yeah. So just hang out if you like. If not, if you need to get some sleep, go ahead and catch later, or watch it later rather, or rewatch it later. Okay, so there we go. It's over down under. Do you hear what I'm saying? It is over down under. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you for being here. Well, the Royals in Australia. Well. If it isn't the consequences of my own actions, things are not going well in Narnia. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they're going to be up late tonight trying to sort things out before they hop on that plane because it seems like the sentiments toward what do you call it, the royal family is not looking good. Is not going in their favor. Let me see the consequences. Where is that at? Okay. Aha. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So anyway, yeah, people have seemed to have gotten a pretty bad taste in their mouth because, well, there's a whole bunch of reasons, but the main thing that you should know is that Charles and Camilla may not get the warm welcome that they were hoping for. And why? I say it has to do with the consequences of their own actions. Check 1 2. Oh boy. Mm-mm. Check 1 2 3. All right, we got sound. Don't know how that happened, but it is that phantom that is it's Kensington Palace. That's what it is. Oh, Mackenzie, thank you for 22 months membership. Okay, the sound is working. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave that in the corner so we can make sure that it's working. All right, I'm going to keep an eye on that. Yeah, I don't know why that happens, but I thought we had that fixed, but still a little bug in the system. Okay, so as I was saying, just in case you missed it, the small print says that King Charles orders all working royals at Buckingham Palace for a garden party, leaving Harry utterly isolated by his family as he attended, that is, a special Invictus ceremony alone. I stress alone. This language that is being used to humiliate and degrade Harry while he's celebrating 10 years of his life with an organization that he founded himself, the Invictus Games. You get what I'm saying here? This was the intention of the royal family to humiliate Harry, Charles, and William, taking glee. And of course, that Stepford wife of William's, and of course, the concubine of His Majesty, all of them doing victory laps, celebrating how humiliated Harry is, right? Harry may have been alone when he got on that plane. He may have been alone when he stayed at a hotel rather than staying at a royal residence, but he was not lonely. And I'll tell you why. King Charles reportedly too busy to hang out with Prince Harry, as if. Let me just say this one more time for the people who just got here. Does Harry look good or what? Okay. That man can wear a suit. Prince Harry supported by who? Uncle Charles Spencer at the Invictus ceremony in London. He may have got on the plane by himself. He may have been alone when he boarded that plane. He stayed at a hotel, of course, with his own personal protection, not royal protection, but he may have been alone, but he wasn't lonely for a while, or for long rather, because the Spencers showed up and they showed out. And it wasn't just Charles Spencer, the Earl Spencer, it was also his aunt and his cousin, the future Earl Spencer, and maybe a couple of other family members that were not mentioned. But yes, the Windsors maybe, caved to the whims of King Charles III, but the Spencers showed up, and that's all that matters. Now, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow is an idiom that means the consequences of your actions in the present will shape your future. It comes from the Bible, where sowing represents action and reaping represents the result of those actions. For example, in the King James Version of the Bible, God says, they sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. In other words, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. So, as we're discussing reaping and sowing and reaping and sowing and sowing and reaping, dun dun dun. Welcome Republic to Australia. That's right. Welcome Republic to Australia. Charles and Camilla are not going to be very welcomed when they get there. As a matter of fact, it's so much worse than you think it is. See the king and queen Monday, um, 21 October, Australian War Memorial, Cumbria. From 1 p.m., Australian Parliament House, Cumbria. Well, there's someone who boarded a plane ahead of the king and queen, and that, of course, is Graham Smith. He says, I'm in Australia to talk about why the UK should ditch the monarchy, to challenge the royal PR machine, and to say loud and clear, Charles is not my king. That's right. Charles is not my king. You know, when I first heard he was going down there, I was like, ooh, I don't know if that's a good idea. But take a look. King Charles suffers slap in the face as Australian politicians snub monarch ahead of royal tour. But Craig Foster says, not a slap in the face. Australians just aren't interested anymore. The vast majority of us want to move on. Oh, that sounds like Jamaica, doesn't it? Monarchists who want Aussies to bend a knee and who are desperately holding on to the past are less than 8% of the country today. And many of us also want historical accountability and not to be associated any longer with a monarchy with both positive and very negative legacies here and across the former British Empire, something that Charles should be asked about when on Australian soil. Ooh, ooh, wow. Wow. That's all I got to say is wow. King Charles arrived for glitzy investment summit event at St. Paul's Cathedral, where Elton John is expected to perform. Let me just tell you something. That just goes to show how pitiful the royal family are nowadays. They're in such a state. Why does this headline for this article mention Sir Elton John? Because that's the only way to get people to open it up and read it. Because otherwise, nobody's interested and nobody cares. You see that on the right side? Not a good day for Charles. Not a good day for Charles. Not a good day at all. Paulette Claude, thank you so much for the super sticker and thank you for joining us. Australian tour blow after every state leader pulls out of official reception. Baron, you have me concerned. This is the AI Royal Sussex on early 2 times in 1 day. Thank you, Lydia Washington. But yes, your ears do not deceive you. It is I. I told you guys I wanted to try and do a different format instead of doing that one long thing. So I may be back later. We'll see how it goes. I may be back later. I'm going to try to do that. I mean, I think it just makes sense. I think it's very Tisha Tells, right? Hey, what's up, Sussex Squad? Get in here, everybody. Close the door behind you. I'm getting better at that, right? Hey, what's up, Sussex Squad? I haven't forgot about you guys. Okay, so I have a soundbite for you. I have a soundbite. Yes, I have a soundbite. This, of course, is Loose Women. Loose Women. And today they had a discussion about this very topic. And I'm kind of glad because they were so busy talking about the red dress. Maybe this will take some of the steam out of the conversation about the red dress. It has been going on way too long. Do you guys know it's been 7 straight days they have been talking about the red dress? 7 days, and they're still on it. But this ought to take the wind out of their sails. This ought to cure that what do you call it? That talking point, that contrived story that they've been telling. Okay. Is this it? Yes, here we go.
First, though, King Charles and Queen Camilla.
Oh, sorry.
Camilla have reportedly been snubbed by Australian politicians who are too busy to meet the royals on their tour of the country. The couple are due to begin a 9-day tour later this week. Is that unusual, do you think, Kelly? I mean, really, it's a big enough deal. We know the king hasn't been well and he's taken a step away from treatment to go on this tour. You would expect them all to be there, wouldn't you?
I mean, yes, personally, I think it's pretty rude. You've got the head of the Commonwealth going over to visit you. They don't go that often, of course, because there's 56 Commonwealth countries. But I do think in one way, because I'm quite royalist, but I think the Queen was the linchpin to all the Commonwealth. And if it was the Queen, you would not see snubbing, as far as I'm concerned. So is the Commonwealth on a decline? I mean, I represented the Commonwealth for England 3 times, so I was very much, this is great. It's a unification. It's something quite high up there.
You're proud of it.
Very proud. But I just don't know whether we have the same authority anymore with our royal family. I think it is declining, but I think it's rude that they are pulling out.
Okay, let me just say this. I love her hair. I love that little sassy haircut that she has, okay? I love the hair. Okay. She's a royalist, and she finds it very rude that people have been, what do you call it? Making excuses, finding other things to do, declining the invitation to see the king. Now, that's coming from a royalist.
Should just do away with these royal tours. Why should they bother if they're not sort of getting the love that they might need when they arrive?
I think it's bad manners, like you say. It's not etiquette at all, is it?
Not at all.
I think the problem is now young people especially have lost all interest in the royal family. I mean, my kids have absolutely no interest, mainly because they go, well, I don't know what they do. Like, they don't seem to have power to do anything, so what are they? I'm really proud of them because I love whenever I go away on holiday, especially over to America or anywhere that far, they always go, oh my God, you have a royal family. And I always think, yes, we do. And I'm proud of them. And, whatever people say, as much as they go, it costs this and it costs that, they also bring in a hell of a lot of money.
Okay, now let me debunk that right there. This idea that the royals bring in a hell of a lot of money is a lie. That is untrue. There has been a very objective study that says that is not true. And also, I just want to say that she mentioned her children have no interest. And when I say she, I'm talking about the one in pink. They have no interest in the royal family. They don't know what they do. If children of the UK are grappling with the necessity of the royal family, what do you think the rest of the world is thinking? It's a novelty for us Americans. Do we want a royal family? Certainly not. The idea that we would be saddled with the likes of William or Charles or Camilla, and there's absolutely nothing you could do about it. The very privileged Kate Middleton and the Middleton family, a lifetime of privilege that let me put it to you like this. I'm going to say that it was earned, but it wasn't theirs to take. It was earned simply because they wore down the competition. nobody else wanted William. And so Kate was there. She was willing. She was English. And so he had her as his wife. But other than that, there's nothing special about Kate or her family.
Into this country just from visitors. They are the Disney World of England.
Yeah. I'm sure they've always wanted to hear that.
They have a real castle.
They do have a real castle with real kings, yes, queens and princesses. I mean, there is a relatively strong Australian Republican movement. We know that, but it was just some of the excuses that were given. The Western Australia's Premier, Roger Cook, reportedly said he couldn't meet the King and Queen because he had other commitments. The Queensland Premier, Stephen Miles, said that he was working on his election campaign, and Jacinta Allen, the Victoria State Premier today, turned down the chance to attend the gala. So is it just one of those, even if you disagree with what they stand for, maybe that's a chance to have that discussion, but to sort of not meet with them at all? What do you think, Brand? Does it come down to basic manners, or is it just political gain?
I mean, I agree with obviously what Kelly and Col have said of it. I think it is in bad taste not for senior members not to turn up. But yeah, my thing is, I think in the current climate and cost of living that's going on all over the place, I think people are just not bothered about it anymore. If it was the Queen, I think it would be different. But I just think that they're not fussed about it.
It's money. It's the economy. It's money. It all comes down to the money. For most people, whether they are monarchists or not, it always comes down to your pocketbook. And you're not in the mood for such nonsense if the money's not right. And as for the Australians, they just do not want to be associated with this ancient ritual of the royal tour. They're just not that into it. It's not where they are right now. And younger Australians in particular. Now, they had a golden opportunity to hang on to the monarchy officially and spiritually hang on to it. Well, the spirit's all gone now. And officially, I believe that the monarchy is going to follow.
As much. Costs, it costs yes, it does bring in tourism, but there's apparently it's 250,000.
Now, Brenda is the one in blue. She's reading from her notes, and she's saying what needs to be said. I'll just say that.
$1 billion for this tour. Where's that coming from? Who's paying that?
Well, Beth,
as much. Costs, yes, it does bring in tourism, but there's apparently it's 250,000 Australian dollars for this tour. Where's that coming from? Who's paying that?
Well, Bev MacArthur, who is a spokesperson for the Australian Monarchists League, she's fuming. Bev's fuming today. Bev has said, she's described the move as a slap in the face for the royals. And she said that our premiers and ministers have sworn allegiance to our monarch, Charles III, and it's a monumental insult that they now spit in his hand extended in friendship. She told the Herald Sun.
Can I just say, round of applause for how well read that was?
And said no, but I'm not sure if that's whether you're going, well, just don't do it then if they're not going to be nice to you, or whether it's a genuine.
Now, they asked the question, should let me play it for you.
47% said no, but I'm not sure if that's whether you're going, well, just don't do it then.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back a little bit.
It's good, I'm glad. We asked you at home as well. What do you think? Are royal tours outdated? Is it something we should just maybe give up on? 53% of you have said yes. 47% said no. But I'm not sure if that's whether you're going, well, just don't do it then if they're not going to be.
Okay, I'm done with the loose women. Now, 53% of the people polled by loose women said no more royal tours. The rest said yes. 53%. Wasn't it just last year, before the new year, when they did a poll, and for the first time in history, the population at large 48% was pro-monarchy, and 53%, was it? 53%? 52% said no to the monarchy. They were underwater for the first time. Do we still need a monarchy? And for the first time, they were underwater, and they have been underwater ever since. And that was in the United Kingdom, not Australia, the United Kingdom. Chew on those numbers. Beverly McCaskill says, Barron, it's 7 days because the country is just so boring and such a racist that the red dress turns them on. Thank you so much for your 29 months membership. But yes, and of course, Beverly McCaskill is speaking in reference to the question of why are they still going on and on? They, of course, being the British tabloid media. Why are they still having fits about that red dress? They're trying to analyze everything in the world in Meghan because of that red dress. Whether she's lonely, whether she's happy, whether she needs attention, whether she's shy. There are so many things. And of course, the worst, that it's a revenge dress. Revenge for who? And for what? For whom? What's the revenge? But it's just like when they said Kate was wearing a revenge dress at the state visit that time. And I'm not talking about the red one. I'm talking about that kind of pinkish looking number she had on, as though it was some kind of revenge against Meghan or something like that. And the person who wrote that article was hoping that it was going to catch, and it didn't, because it didn't make sense, right? So anyway, thank you, Beverly McCaskill. Okay, let us continue. Still got a lot to cover here. Uh-oh, I think I got another soundbite for you. Okay, I'm going to have to take this away because I need to read that. Let me see here. Oh, that's okay because I got another screen. I was blessed with a larger screen where I can see stuff better with my poor eyesight. There we go. It says the Australian Republic Movement, ARM, has launched a campaign branding King Charles' upcoming visit to the country as a farewell tour of the British monarchy. They say the tongue-in-cheek push, which includes a merchandise collection, they are merching the King's farewell tour, is aimed at sparking debate about the role of the crown in modern Australia. But monarchists say it is offensive. The tour from the 18th to the 26th of October marks the first royal visit down under in more than a decade and will be King Charles's longest trip since his cancer diagnosis. It also comes a year after Australia's unsuccessful voice to Parliament vote, which has stalled momentum for another referendum. Now, remember, the last referendum was in 1999, where about 55%, was it, voted to remain, voted to keep the Queen as head of state. But that's the Queen. We know that Charles would not be so lucky. There was a lot of sentiment for the Queen. And there were people, for lack of a better word, there was patiently waiting for the Queen to die. They were waiting for the Queen to die so that they could have a more accurate vote instead of a bunch of people feeling sorry for the old lady, the grandmother of the Commonwealth. They thought, we'll just put it off until the Queen dies, knowing that her days were numbered, and not because she was ill, but just because of her age. Which it was possible she could have lived as long as her mother, but she didn't. And so now people are ready to move on, said Jamaica. Wow. Let me see. MS sent a PayPal. Thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. Okay, I can't open the message and read it right now, but thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I tried to make this app more friendly for me to use, and it just did not work out. So, anyway, let me get on with the soundbite from the Ministry of Hacks. And of course, he's talking about the same thing, which is why I put this up here. So, let me grab that, and then we'll talk on the other side.
Well, it looks like Australia's politicians, the state leaders, are voting with their feet, literally, when it comes to the proposed royal tour of Australia. Before we jump into this one, you know the score. Comments are open. Would love your opinion. So we know that Australia is a huge country and a huge continent. And because it's so big, it's split into states. Each state has a state leader, quite similar to the British Prime Minister in terms of their responsibility and in terms of their power. And guess what? None of the elected state leaders are going to meet King Charles when he undertakes his state visit. What does that say about the feeling of Australians generally? Where none of the leaders are prepared to look as though they're supporting the British working royal family in 2024. Yes, I know there's been polls done where quite a few people in the Australian public do support the monarchy, but the tide is turning when an elected politician does not want to affect their own reputation by meeting up and therefore supporting directly and indirectly the British working taxpayer-funded royal family. Have a brilliant Monday. Comments are open. Let me know what you think.
All right. Remember, you can find the Ministry of Hacks on TikTok. Okay. Now, here's some more from today. King Charles and Queen Camilla will not receive a warm welcome from Australia's state premiers. I guess what they call the leaders of those individual states. Will not receive a warm welcome from Australia's state premiers when they arrive down under this week with politicians too busy. It sounds just like what Charles was saying about his own son. This is why they say you reap what you sow. And while I don't wish anything bad on Charles and Camilla, right? I don't wish anything bad on them. But it says a lot. It says a lot. His character has finally been exposed globally. Well, not finally. I mean, we knew he had a really poor character, the way he treated Diana. But Lincoln says, "You're making a big mistake not protecting my wife, Prince Harry." That was a quote from Prince Harry. Now, I don't remember Prince Harry saying that, right? But that's the interpretation from this particular person on social media. They continue to say the moment in Australia they realized that Meghan's existence within the fold was a threat, and Harry and Meghan together was going to be their biggest nightmare. Okay? So that's the kind of thing that people are talking about today. But wait, I got more for you. I did add a video to the community tab. I hope most of you all have watched that video. Very interesting. That video came out, 6 months ago, a year ago? And somehow it only had very few views. It's not my video, but if I were you guys, I would make sure I take a look at that one because, and I'm going to tell you something too. I was surprised that most of the slides that he was using are the same slides that I have been using. I'm just like, well, me and this guy got similar tastes in how we archive this information. So they're on the right. Exclusive. Woke leftist Australians determined to wreck King Charles' historic trip down under. Well, of course, they're trying to assign blame to these individuals rather than acknowledge the fact that Charles has been found wanting in his character. And this is yet another time when that has caught up to him, when his lack of character has caught up to him. So I can't say that I feel sorry for him, and certainly not for the mistress that he married. Both of them being anointed by God, Charles being the supreme governor of the Church of England, it still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm not the most religious person, trust me, I'm not. But still, there are some things I hold sacred. That Charles took his mistress into the church and married her in the eyes of God, no less. That was a real turning point. If anything says that it's no longer necessary to respect that institution, it wasn't Andrew, the sick old man. It wasn't the cash for honors. It wasn't Louis Mountbatten. It was the day he was coronated, or should I say crowned, should I say, not coronated, crowned. When he was crowned in the Church of England as king and Camilla queen, that was a low, low moment in the history of the British monarchy. Very low. Not for the British people. They haven't done anything wrong. For those two and for the institution of the monarchy. That was a very low moment. And you would have to ask yourself, why would I ever respect that institution again? Why would you? Why should you? He doesn't have respect for it. Why should you? Yeah, Connie Bomber says, anointed by God. God loves us all. And we are equal in his eyes. Come on, Connie Bomber. You better preach. You better preach. Now, I did mention merchandise, right? Well, here's iFool. This is what I'm going to be very brave and take that away. This is what the merchandise looks like. There's actually a t-shirt that has this image, and I'll show you that right now. Monarchy, the Farewell Oz Tour. And then at the bottom it says, let's wave goodbye to royal reign. How about that? Monarchy, the Farewell Tour. This is the merchandise that they're selling. And just think how many people are going to want that t-shirt. I want one. Let me just leave it there for a second. Let me just leave it there just for fun. Make sure you take it all in. So, Victoria Ward, King appears to be in a jolly mood at Government International Investment Summit at St. Paul's Cathedral this evening. It's likely to be his last public appearance before he lands in Sydney on Friday. And then, of course, on the right side of the next slide, it says, Australian sell farewell tour merch before King's visit. Let me see what it says. Aussies are tired of the shenanigans, just like all countries, including. So Republican debate flares up ahead of King Charles' first visit to Australia as head of state. Isn't that something? You see what he stirred up? I mean, he has literally stirred up a hornet's nest. Should Australia become a republic? Now he has opened up a debate. A debate. Now, whether it's going to be a formal debate, I don't know, but people are talking about it. It is a monumental insult. Australian premiers opt out of King Charles and Queen Camilla's welcome reception in Cumbria. Yeah, they got other commitments. Now, take a look at this issue of the Inquirer. It predicted some time ago that Charles was losing his grasp on the monarchy. That's what it said. Charles losing grasp on crown. Powerless to stop monarchy's collapse. Declares William unfit to be king. Harry and Meghan move in for the kill. Harry and Meghan don't want that nonsense. You know, the Inquirer was doing good till they got to that part. But let's face it, though. I don't know. Charles, I could imagine he said that William was unfit. I mean, this is a tabloid, an American tabloid, but still a tabloid. It only comes out once a week. I do believe the part where it says powerless to stop the monarchy's collapse. Yeah, I'm going to buy that one. Okay. Next. You're making a big mistake not protecting my wife. Okay, I did that one already. All right, we don't need to do that one again. Okay. Now, this is the other soundbite that I have for you. I'm only going to play like about 2 minutes of this. King Charles conspires with Rupert Murdoch to destroy his own son. I mean, his son. I'm sorry, Murdoch to destroy his son, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So yeah, like I said, this video has been out for like a year. And the fact that I didn't know it existed at all is interesting. I don't think many people have watched it because I don't think it had even 3,000 views when I found it. And I'm just like, where'd you come from? But it just popped up in my feed. And I don't know. I think I've watched it several times since. But let's go and let me see here. Oh, yeah, please don't forget to hit the like button. That's something that I constantly forget to say. But please don't forget to hit the like button. That like button is very important for the algorithm. And the algorithm is what brings views to the channel. In other words, it helps to keep the lights on. Okay, are we ready?
G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website kangaroocourtofaustralia.com. Now, I've just published an article in relation to King Charles conspiring with Rupert Murdoch to destroy the reputation of his own son, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Now, this video will be an overview of that article, but it will also provide further evidence of why King Charles, who was also King of Australia, isn't fit to be King of Australia. Whether he's King of England or not, that's their choice, given that Rupert Murdoch's puppet in Australia, former Prime Minister Scott Morrison, abused the Constitution when he was Prime Minister over the last few years with the help of the Governor-General David Hurley, who was King Charles's delegate in Australia. So we really need to be expediting Australia's transfer to a republic, I believe. And it's mainly because of King Charles not being fit and proper person to be King of Australia. And his treatment of Prince Harry is centre to that. He's absolutely deserted him and conspired with Rupert Murdoch to destroy his reputation for his own benefit. So let's have a look at the evidence. But to start off, let's have a quick reminder of how the royal family and King Charles treated Princess Diana, because her complaints about the royal family leaking lies against her is almost identical to what Prince Harry is saying. He's claiming that the royal family has leaked lies against him. And the royal family's treatment of Princess Diana is almost identical to their treatment of Prince Harry, or his alleged treatment. In 1981, King Charles.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the link for that video so that you can watch it for yourself. It's on the community tab. I know some of you have watched it. As a matter of fact, I believe 1,000 people have watched it, because when I found the video, there was only 3,000 views. Now it says there's 4,000 views. So I think that video deserves to go viral, because he's able to say what a lot of people are thinking and what a lot of other people have said. So, okay, let me get that link for you. I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to post it at the top of the chat, and then you could watch it. Let me just say, for people that have been watching Royal Sussex and other Sussex-friendly spaces, you will be very familiar with most of the material. or examples that he's about to give. So there it is. I just pinned it to the top of the chat. So watch it at your leisure. And please share it so other people can watch it. Share it. I mean, do like they used to vote in Chicago back when Kennedy ran for president. Vote early and vote often. That's how you elect the Democrats. Too soon? Too soon? Okay, let's move on. All right, so take a look there. How propaganda is made. Journalists and photographers at Brandenburg Gate. This is an example of Charles when he went to Germany. They made this big fuss about this outpouring of affection for Charles on his first foreign tour as monarch, when the truth is there weren't not that many people there, but they tried to make it seem like there was, I don't know, a Meghan and Harry on the Oceania tour like crowd. It wasn't. It was very, very sedate. And my favorite part of this event was the fact that there was someone in a nearby office building that had cardboard cutout, life-size images of Harry and Meghan peering out of one of the windows. Okay. And then right here, Candace Holmes. It says here, good morning, blah, 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 blah. Let me see, Scotland's future, and it's time to follow through. Why should we keep funding a monarchy that doesn't represent us? Let's take control of our own destiny and finances. Yeah, finances. So I believe that is the front page of the National, the Sunday National, which is a Scottish newspaper. Scotland is a country, not a county, just in case anybody forgot. They are it is a country, and that they don't like being treated like some kind of two-bit province when they are actually a nation unto themselves that happens to have what? A government in Westminster that has the final word over so many of their affairs. So they do not have complete autonomy yet, but there is an independence movement for Scotland, and they want to get back into the European Union. There is an independence movement for Wales, and they would love to get back into the European Union. I say Scotland's going to go first. And then, of course, for Northern Ireland, they don't want independence, at least not the majority, because most of them are leaning toward the English. But Northern Ireland wants to, the Irish Republic would like Northern Ireland to become part of the nation again. So in the future, that is likely to happen. Okay. Oh, yeah. That was a very good video. Okay, so I'm almost done, you guys. Connie Balmer's got to get her rest. But again, Harry looked amazing when he went to St. Paul's Cathedral, where his father did not have time for him because he had other stuff to do. He was too busy. And fast forward to October of 2024, and Charles is getting the same treatment from the government ministers in one of the Commonwealth countries where he is the head of state, and they simply cannot be bothered. And also, speaking of Australia, do you guys remember this speech where Harry gave a speech of the lifetime to a crowd of people for the Invictus games? And of course, before he gave that speech, he wanted some, I guess, pointers from someone who is one of the best public speakers ever to have been a part of that institution, or just is. Meghan is a very effective speaker, and the unbiased people that know what a good speech is have said so before that hate campaign from the institution. And so, yeah, There you go. And right here, how Meghan Markle helped this 6-year-old. By the way, thank you, Muriel, for finding this one. There is a video for this. I'm going to put it on the community tab. But very cute how Meghan Markle helped this 6-year-old raise £8,000 for charity. As a matter of fact, do I have the soundbite for that one? Let me see if I have the soundbite. I thought I saved it. Maybe I did not. And I did not. Oh, yeah, but it's easy to find it. I know it is because I got it from Muriel. So let me just grab that and I will share that with you. And again, we're almost done. Thank you all so much for being here. Okay. Uh-oh. Mm-mm. All right. Coming up.
A little Melbourne boy who gave Meghan Markle a pasta necklace has gone global. Gavin Hazelwood is selling his creations to raise money for a cause close to his heart.
It was meant to be a one-off, but Gavin Hazelwood's pasta necklace has taken off.
We're giving them out to everybody in the world.
Meghan Markle spotted the 6-year-old in the crowd at Government House and wore his handmade necklace as she greeted fans. Everyone wants to dress like the Duchess, so Gavin is selling the necklaces online for $20 each, while raising money for stillborn birth research.
I have a little sister that died in my mum's tummy that will find out why babies die and stop it happening.
His sister Clara was stillborn 4 years ago.
In 2014, and from then on, it wasn't happy, but now it's, it feels like he's doing something for his sister.
Jewellery making is his hobby, but aviation is his passion. Gavin wore his Qantas junior pilot uniform, and now the airline has offered to take him on a flight simulator. Gavin's website has been up and running for less than 48 hours, but he's already sold more than 40 necklaces. So far, he's raised $1,000 and has customers across Australia, the US and the UK. How many necklaces do you think you'll have to make?
Hundreds.
Well, luckily, there's enough pasta in the world to just keep this one going. So hopefully we're making necklaces for quite a while yet.
Melina Sarah.
Okay. How sweet. So thank you, Muriel, for that story. I remember that from the Oceania tour. And I remember the sign says, "I made you a necklace." And Meghan put it right on and wore it. And suddenly everybody wanted a pasta necklace. I believe he painted the pasta gold. Yeah, he painted it gold and then put it on the string and everything. So very, very sweet story. And so I don't want to claim that things have tipped in favor of the Sussexes and away from that royal family because of the Oceania tour. But Harry and Meghan had an extraordinary visit, and it was very, very warm. They went to Fiji, Tonga, New Zealand, and Australia, and I can't remember if they went someplace else, but it was incredible, the outpouring of affection. And it was at that point that things changed. Harry had that feeling in the pit of his stomach that there was going to be hell to pay because of their popularity. And it was. You can see right there, little Gavin with the necklaces. And over there on the left side, let me see. I gave up perfect school attendance to see you. Congrats on baby Sussex. That's when, of course, Harry and Meghan announced the birth of Archie. Well, that she was pregnant. They were pregnant, and that Archie was a result of it. So, yeah, that was. Oh, and also at that time, they had already sold 8,000 pounds Let me see. Oh, I see. He has raised over 15,000 pounds, 15,000 Australian dollars, or 8,000 pounds, before the Sussexes even left to go back to the UK. So great story, great story. Now, if you watched the video from earlier, by the way, this is my second video today. If you watched the one from earlier, you remember that I spoke about this guy, Dr. Max Pemberton. And I said that this is part of the gaslighting campaign from the Daily Mail and the Sun and the tabloid media, the palaces of Windsor, to create this hostility against the Duchess of Sussex, to try to distract from other things that are going on. It just didn't make any sense that this doctor says why this photo of Meghan fills me with such sadness, and I think she should go it alone. Looking at the picture of Prince Harry on his recent solo trip to, she's not the one you ought to be paying attention to. Harry and Meghan are happy and they're busy. You need to worry about those other two misfits. And now I wonder, as a matter of fact, why isn't he talking about Charles and his health? He seems to be a medical doctor. Why don't he talk about that stuff? They have recruited everybody. It's all hands on deck. They need everyone within their universe of awful journalists. They need all of them to attack Meghan because of the red dress, and they just won't stop. It has been 7 days. The other thing that I'm just going to, this is the last slide, by the way. Remember I said word salad? Remember I said that? Heads in the clouds. Kamala Harris accused of worst word salad yet, with bizarre explanation about constellation. Because they say it does not make that true. But the people who read the article that are not going to watch the video or listen to her words walk away with more hostility against someone that they've never met for something that probably did not happen. And that's what's so awful about the tabloid media, and of course, increasingly social media, is that they push and push and push until they're convinced that the lie becomes the truth. And that's why we have to push back. We have to push back every chance we get. So someone who, of course, could never, ever be confused as having used word salad. Bear with me if I don't do this at least once a day. Someone who could never be accused of having used word salad is, of course, the Princess of Wales.
Well,
Kate?
Obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, to this day, and going forward and things. It is. It's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
And I do say cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. Love you guys. And I may see you later. We'll see how it goes. Okay? All right. Bye for now. Bye from Ivy. Bye.